Hi, welcome to the first of our monthly peer-to-peer meetings. This month we have Woody Howard from Simpsonville, and he talks about technicians, numbers, how to sell more hours, and on with the show. Today we're talking to Woody Howard, who's from Simpsonville Automotive and runs a very successful shop in Simpsonville, Kentucky. Been with Shop Boss quite a while. It's going to be a bit free-ranging. Really, we're going to be quite informal. We have got an agenda, but I'm laying money that Woody won't stick to it. We'll just go with how we go. Take it away, Woody.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for showing up. I see Todd on here. Todd and I met not long ago on our advisory board. So to begin with, I see Sal's coming in as well. I know him a little bit, hoping to know these people better, hoping to know all you people better. So to begin with, I wouldn't necessarily say that I run a very successful repair shop, to humble myself. I run a repair shop and I'm on my way to being successful. I am in the spot right now where I'm trying to exit the production of my shop and work on my business more than I do in it. And I have personally found the best way to do it is to do a bunch of meetings like this and talk to other people and find out new processes, new ideas, and sharing is caring. So I've been a part of Automotive Training Institute since 2010. Anybody familiar with who that is? Anybody a member or pre or post member or anything like that? Anybody been to their seminars once, twice? Any?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I was a struggling business owner, and I can't say enough good about them, but I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about it. So we kicked around the idea of having something like our 20 group that I'm involved with ATI in something like this with just us Shop Boss users, so that we can figure out what everybody's out there doing that works, what everybody's out there doing that is not working and they want to stop doing, and ultimately gain the knowledge so that we can all move forward and offer better service to our customers. And the most important part, make more money to feed our family, because that's what we're doing this for, right? I mean, maybe there's some trust fund kids in here that are hanging out because they just like working on cars and they got a lot of money, but I'm definitely not one of them. So, I want to qualify myself that I am a struggling business owner with plenty of debt and recently semi on top of things. So let's start with just kind of going around the room and maybe announce who you are, where you are, how many bays you got, how many techs you are, how long you've been in business. Todd, I know you. Let's go with you first.
Started off as a professional tech in 1986, became a business owner in 2010, and then purchased an existing business, another shop, bigger shop in 2018. That's my current shop, Swedish Automotive, Seattle, Washington. We have 10 bays with lifts and an alignment bay, 6 techs, 2 service advisors, and a parts manager.
Nice.
And I don't work on cars anymore.
Good for you. Good for you.
Except when I want to.
Yeah, agreed. And do you consider yourself a sales manager? Do you prop your team up? Do you what's your current position?
My current position, I would just put myself as general manager, running the circus, basically.
Nice.
I'm HR. I am the director of marketing. I am the head of HR. I am all the other stuff.
Janitor.
Yeah, about half the time.
I always label myself as a janitor a lot. Like if you ever want to know what it's like to be a janitor, start your own business.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you pass it off to somebody else, Todd? Same question.
How about Jeff McElroy?
Hello, my name is Jeff. I'm operator of Tulsa Auto Dock here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Been open since the 1st of July, and I've been doing this professionally since about 1989. And of course, with that comes the technician mind frame and trying to adopt a business mindset. And so that's obviously the transition there, the detoxing from trying to keep my hands in there and let my techs be techs and let me run this side of the circus, as Todd said. And so just learning a lot. Paul's helped me a lot with the profit per hour stuff. And that has really been, I can see where it's so easy to bleed money. And that's really helped me shore some things up. But anyway, so I'm here to learn. And so
How many bays, how many techs?
one tech, not counting myself, and then 3 bays and a little 1,260 square foot shop. So
Nice.
I love that you've taken to PPH so easily and so quickly, Jeff. I think it's one of those, you either get it or you sort of don't get it yet.
Sure. I think one of the benefits maybe in my case is that because I haven't really been engaged in management for very long, it makes it easier to adapt or adopt a new way of thinking. Maybe, I don't really know, but I really enjoy seeing just a live way of calculating it rather than me sitting down with a piece of paper and watching numbers fly by at any particular moment. It just makes it that much simpler to do those calculations, to be able to see, to be able to make live adjustments, things like that. It's just so much easier. So,
and just an aside, if any of you are interested in PPH, profit per hour, that we're talking about, I can turn it on for your accounts. We can do a training session, myself or Victor, and we can look at that with you individually. Just make an appointment. But sorry, Jeff, I think you've got somebody else next to do an introduction.
What's that? I'm sorry.
If you'll pass it to somebody else, just anybody on the
sure.
screen.
How about Jason there in his cozy cabin?
Yeah, you gotta love backgrounds, right?
I know, right?
Yeah. So I'm Jason Quillen. I'm in Janaton Hutton, Ohio. We have our primary shop is a 4-bay, 3 techs full time. We just added another 3-bay. Basically, it's a 4-bay building that we're going to be doing ADAS calibrations in.
Nice.
Kind of figure out whether we want to put a full-time guy over there with the ADAS stuff. It makes it really hard to add any other equipment over there. So, but yeah, we're in a pretty big growth stage right now. We've been in business for about almost 6 years now. Yeah, that's about us. I'm a shop owner that's still turning wrenches from time to time, trying to transition into just being a shop owner, and that's a hard one to give up the reins to. So to let my guys have free range of everything. So still learning. So yeah.
Absolutely. How many techs?
Right now I have 3 full-time techs, 1 part-time. We're looking to hire another guy here in the next week or 2 here. But a lot of inexperienced that, we have to start with a lot of inexperienced guys and really tricking them now. We can't find experienced guys. And if we do, they got so many bad habits that we don't really want them anyhow. So
Sometimes
as bad as that
it's
sounds.
Sometimes easier to train the new habits than untrain the bad habits.
Yep, exactly.
And you can pass it to anybody,
Yep.
Jason.
All right. I'll go to Emmy. She's right underneath me. So
Hi, I'm Emmy. I actually am here on behalf of my boss. I am not the owner. I am the admin / whatever needs to get done girl. Kind of look after work. And I've actually worked at different shops for probably 15 years. Not quite in this capacity right now. It's a little different. Shop Boss was new to me. We always used Mitchell and other programs. So I'm still trying to figure out kind of the best ways to use the program. We're also in Canada, so some of the things that work for you guys don't work for us. And yeah, so just trying to figure that out. Currently, we have 3 bays, 4 techs. It's kind of like you were saying, it's really hard to get good techs. They either have old habits and don't want to train, and then you guys, we actually haven't come across too many of them. But I think a big part of it is on my end, because I do a lot of the paperwork and the advisor notes and stuff. I have a hard time with our techs actually doing stories as they go. So if anybody has any ideas of how you get them to actually do it without hounding them, and I feel like a nag, but I'm like, okay, without a story, I don't know what to fill in. Like, I'm not down there fixing the stuff, right? It's like time is money, and we need these invoices to come in and go out quickly and effectively and efficiently and all that stuff. And it's pretty hard to do when, you're kind of stuck because they're not adding in stories or missing adding parts, or so it's just kind of like that. And yeah, I think we're definitely going through a big growth stage. Another difference is this place that I'm working with now, they do a lot of motor homework, and that's something unfamiliar to me. So some of the parts and different things are a little bit more things that I haven't really, come in contact with before. So I'm learning new stuff, which is good too.
You mean house trailers?
Sorry?
You mean the house trailers, mobile homes?
Oh, like, $1 million mobile homes. It's like, oh
Exactly.
God, take pictures. Don't touch anything. We've had a few of those where a customer says, oh, you scratched this or you did this. It's like, go take pictures before you go in that thing.
So, and the unfortunate part about those things is the $1 million motorhome is literally put together with mobile home parts sometimes.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm like, oh my goodness, these things are nuts. So yeah.
Well, I put your question down in a note here, and we're going to circle back to it and have a discussion about that, of how to get the text to document.
Yes. Better.
Absolutely.
Shop once told me they tried a carrot and then a big stick.
Yeah, I think I'm at the big stick part.
Since we're recording, I'm going to say Shop Boss do not condone beating any of your technicians. I'm just going to try and cover myself here. Yeah, one of my shops was telling me they were having real trouble with it. Victor will reach out to you after this, and we can arrange some assistance and one-on-one training with you.
Okay.
And he's about 6'4", so maybe he's the one who you should get to carry a big stick.
Yeah, exactly. That could work.
Don't forget that half inch is 6.45. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's yeah.
At 6'4", he is a big stick.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
And yeah, if you could just pick somebody else who hasn't already been for the introduction.
We'll go with Carlos.
Well, hey, I am in North Carolina. Been in business since 2013. We specialize in Euros and foreign cars. I have 3 techs, 4 bays. I started out as a tech back in 1984, 85. Been doing this a long time. I don't really turn many wrenches anymore. Hardly ever. Just kind of had a difficult time, I guess, like everybody else, turning from a tech to a shop owner, knowing what your numbers are supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. I am in a mastermind group, which helped out a ton. That's about it.
What's the mastermind group? Who's that with?
I'm actually with the ASOG. I don't know if you're familiar with the ASOG Facebook group. They have a mastermind group, and I've been with them now a little over a year.
Nice. Getting some good ideas, good feedback.
Oh yeah, a ton. There's probably, I don't know how many of us are in there now. It's quite a bit, but it's good to hear different views, different, and I wouldn't even say different, just knowing that other people have the same issues you have, and maybe look at it in a different perspective, so it works out. These kind of things are really good.
It really is. And I'm going to interrupt just for a second. In the 20 group I'm with, I'm in there with people that have 100 employees, literally.
Oh, wow.
So Bill and Lori Raitt up in Wisconsin have a towing business, getting ready to purchase a 3rd repair shop, along with a used car lot and a rental car lot. They have over 100 employees. They have the same issues that I do. It's all just nuts and bolts, people. It's the same exact issues. So
yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, it's good to hear other people's ideas and views of things.
It is. So pass it off to somebody else, Carlos.
I guess Joel.
Hi, can you hear me or?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We've been in business since 2018. 3 bays. Just lost 2 techs, so we will have just 2 now. A little bit of combination between collision and strictly repair. I'm no technician, so my background isn't in that per se. I'm just an entrepreneur. That's all. Just saw an idea and thought, okay, well, let me just see if I can make it happen. Basically, we recently purchased a building, but climate has been it's been a little hard, just like everyone was saying, getting a technician, and then it's like you caught between, which one comes first, the chicken or the egg, whether, you get the tech, but then you don't get the jobs, you get the jobs, you don't have the tech, it's a bit of that, and trying also to get everyone to follow the particular vision I have, and it's a challenge given that I do not have that automotive background. So a lot of people, people just look at me like, this guy doesn't know anything about this, and this is how the industry works, and this is just the way it works, and it's never going to change, and it's just that. So those are some of my challenges per se, not, but obviously also, just making things run a little better and improve cash flow. Made a few changes just to address that, but I'm just eager to. I'm happy something like this is happening because sometimes, given that I do not know technicians, again, I've never been in this industry, so I don't have contacts to say, hey, let me just pick your brain for a while. So it's a good thing that they put this together, and whenever possible, I'll try and join just to learn more.
And are you using the shop bus on your collision side as well?
I didn't think they had one. Well,
No, are you using the CC, whatever the CCE is that everybody uses, or?
it's an older version of Mitchell. I'm just testing that before deciding to make the commitment.
Gotcha. I was just curious because most of the collision guys are using different software for the collision side than the.
Right. But we primarily, we do both. So, but I use for our building, even if it's a collision, it will still go through ShopBoss because that's where everything is. That's the hub, basically.
Nice. Well, pass it off to somebody else.
Pass it off to someone else. Let's see. Well, Nick.
What's going on? So I'm Nick. I do all the front shop stuff for Rogers Garage. It's in Johnstown, Ohio, right outside of Columbus. I do everything from ordering parts to calling customers to scheduling to just about everything but turning a wrench. We do mostly performance stuff, a lot of imports, not too many older cars, mostly just newer cars of people that are wanting to go a little faster. And we got our own little fleet of cars that we take to autocross events or the track and all that. So, we opened in November 2020. We got 4 bays and 2 techs full time. And we're slowly picking up business again. The first of the year was super slow, had 2 or 3 weeks of just nobody, just everybody wasn't really needing to get their cars done or didn't want to because of all the Christmas expenses, I guess they had, because all the shops around us were all out of work for a couple of weeks there. It was kind of rough, but picking it all back up again and having a big event on Memorial Day this year with, we'll have 300 or 400 cars out here all to show and food trucks and all that. So always looking forward to that.
Definitely a different side of the business than most of us. Do y'all do regular maintenance repair as well?
Yep. Yeah, we do just about everything here. The only thing we don't have is an alignment rack, but we have a shop down the road that sublets it to us for a pretty good cost. It's something that we're looking at getting in the next few months, I believe. And then we're going to hire another technician as kind of like a quick lube type person that'll mainly use that alignment rack to do like an oil change or just a basic inspection on.
Gotcha.
But,
and you may have said, I might have blanked out. How many bays, how many techs?
4 bays, 2 techs full time.
Gotcha.
We all went to high school together. We all one worked at Firestone for about 6 years, and me and me and one of the other technicians worked at a Honda dealership for a while, and then I went and worked at Subaru for a while as an advisor. And then my technician's parents purchased this property, and it had the shop on it already. And so we just started our own thing.
Nice.
Yeah, out in the country, so it's kind of hard to get in trouble out here. We can be loud and kind of do what we want.
Nice. And primarily Asian import performance stuff.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese stuff too. Like we got a lot of Hondas. We do Honda swap Miatas. We got built Audis. We have our shop has a 95 Porsche 911 that's got a built 4-liter in it. So got some pretty fun toys.
Sounds interesting.
Mhm.
Cool. Pass it right along to somebody that hasn't went.
Let's see. Not too sure who hasn't gone yet. How about?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there he is.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Hey, sorry about that. My phone was being weird. So I've been in business about just over 5 years now. Right now, I do regular automotive repair. I do off-road upgrades, roll cages, lift kits, wheels, tires, gas and diesel repairs. Unfortunately, right now I'm running as a one-person shop. I do absolutely everything. I have a 3-bay shop, actually a 4-bay shop, one of them being a metal fabrication shop or a bay. And I stay pretty busy. I had one tech on, fortunately, a couple months ago. We were super slow, so he ended up finding something else. But I'm just staying busy trying to keep everything up and going.
Have you had people in the past?
Yeah, so the most I've had is like three people on, one service advisor and parts, and then me and one other person as a tech.
And right now it's just you.
Yep, just me. I do absolutely everything.
I have stood in my building alone for about 3 weeks in a row, and it's no fun, man.
Oh no, I mean when I started the business, I started out of my house and literally ran out of my house for about a year and a half until I got too big for that. Then got a bigger shop and went for about 6 months before I even got an employee.
I'm gonna put down another question to ask as well, particular for you. And Sal, let's hear it, man.
Oh, okay. Sal from the Fremont Auto Center, Fremont, California. We have, let's see, I currently have 2 techs, one B, one that's kind of a C, kind of fresh out of school, but picking up on things and so on, needs more experience. I have a service writer, have 6 lifts, but room to add about 3 or 4 more. Took over the shop back in 2017. The previous owner was only here about 3 days a week and really winding down. I mean, he was happy if his sales were $1,200 a week. And the shop I took over is one, but I actually now have the space. I took over the shop next door when it became available, so I have room for expansion. My thing is just really getting another good tech and then kind of balancing that, because it's always nervous, like, okay, do I have the work for another tech? And then all of a sudden we're slammed, like I need another guy. So I keep looking, and then we started getting a little slower where we can keep the 2 guys busy and not sure about a third. So then I get nervous and kind of, still looking, but not as aggressively. It's like I need to just get aggressive with the looking, stay there, and then just, make sure I get more aggressive with the marketing to keep things going. But, we're doing well there. From day one, I've been running this shop completely debt-free. I don't do credit cards. I don't have a personal credit card, business credit card. I don't do equipment leases. I actually just have some reserves in case of emergencies or any equipment purchases. And I've done that from day one.
Well, I have not.
I was just going to say, I would hazard a guess that you're probably one of the very few, if not the only, repair shop owners who don't have any debt. I know biddings on itself, but yeah.
Well, very simply, just listen to the podcast from Dave Ramsey. Yep.
Who next?
Alrighty. So who's next? You know what? Let's see if Eric. I see you're there. Nope. Looks. I guess Eric's not. He's underneath the car or whatever. Have we heard from Ken yet?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I apologize. I do not have a camera. So if you can hear me, that's cool. Name's Ken Nilsson. In Vero Beach, Florida. Been in business 13 years. have about 12,000 square feet, 14 lifts, got 12 employees. We do nothing but European. And with that, we actually only do 2,000 and newer. So kind of a very niche market. Been in the industry, primarily European, for 35 years. So got a lot of experience in every department in this industry, like it or not. We have a dedicated alignment rack, and then I have 11 other bays.
All right, pass it off to either Jay or Juan or Rick, I think are the last three.
Go with Jay.
Yeah, I'm Jay. Let me turn my camera on here. Hi, I own a repair shop west side of Cleveland, Ohio. It's a 4-bay store with 3 techs and myself and a receptionist. I wrench on the high-end electrical, estimate, sell, and get the parts going and do everything else that the building maintains. We've been in business since 17. We got a pretty good niche in the market, on the 100,000 mile, 10-year-old cars. Just looking to expand in different areas, with the programming and all these different modeled cars and the ADAS system. So doing pretty well. Monthly numbers are decent, just looking for improvement. That's why I joined the groups.
Nice. All right, we got Rick or Juan left, unless Eric is there possibly. All right, no Rick. How about Juan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's hear it, man.
I own a small 4-bay shop with 3 technicians. We've been in business for about 8 years now. We're doing okay. Could always be doing better. Basically, like to learn more about how to step out away from the car and work more on the business. That's being a real struggle. That's about it.
All right. If Rick or Eric's not going to speak, going once, going twice, we'll move on. Paul, you got anything to say before I start yakking?
Okay,
Sure.
so we're about 30 minutes in, so I'm going to let Woody take the floor. And it's really nice to hear from everybody. I mean, we often speak to people on the phones or by email. I know a lot of people spoke with Victor or Kyle or Rami, but it's really nice to put a face to names. And also, I think it's really nice that people are willing to get together and try and help each other. I'm hoping we can do this once a month. We've got the Facebook group as well. If people join, we can interact there. But doing this once a month is really going to be a good thing, in my opinion. So I hope everybody enjoys it as we go and move forward. Woody, I shall let you go from here.
All right. So thanks, everybody. If anybody didn't go, because I have been left out on a Zoom meeting and I did have my feelings hurt. So if anybody didn't go, please speak up right now, because I don't want to be the guy that left somebody out. And Ramey's on here as well. Hi, Ramey. So I've got some specific stuff, but as we were going along, I heard some really decent questions as well that I just kind of wanted to address. So first was Emma, and she said, how do we get the techs to document more? So I'll speak up real quick and say, or ask, I guess, does your technician have a tablet or a phone in his hand while he's working on a car?
They have access to a tablet, and there's also like a computer station that's down there as well.
Gotcha.
Mm.
I think it helps if they have their own dedicated. I actually went to iPhones. We found it easier to use iPhones than we did anything else to do our inspections, documentations, everything. Because you've got the phone in one hand and the tire tread depth gauge or the brake tread depth gauge or something else in the other hand. Versus a tablet, you're almost 2 hands to get about anything done.
Mm.
That's just my humble opinion. So throwing that out there. Anybody else got a suggestion of how we get the techs to do more documents? I have one other one.
So one thing that I do, both my technicians, well, one of them came from not being a technician at all. Like this was his first technician job, but one came from working at Firestone. So he was already in the process of writing down certain reasons why he was recommending a certain service and stuff like that. And really what it came down to was just me bothering them every single time for just about every issue. Like, why are you recommending this? Why are you recommending this? I tell them, you need to write this down. So then I'm not wasting your time while you're working on a car, and need you to go and look at the car to remember why you recommended this. Because there would be some time that they would even forget. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember why. Maybe it had play in it. Maybe it's a blown strut. I don't know. So
So
yeah,
they're doing it on like paper kind of that they're writing it
yeah.
in? Okay.
Yeah, we have paper inspections here. We don't do any digital inspections as of right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
For
We
me
kinda do
personally,
both,
it would be
but-
significantly faster if I was a technician to type it, because I'm a faster typer and you don't want to read my handwriting. But that's just me. Then they can walk around with their clipboard and write stuff down as they're going. Both the technicians have like a Surface Pro, so that they could even take pictures with it, but they don't really use that either. Really the only thing that they use that for is to mark stuff as complete or something like that. They don't really use it for anything else. Checking the schedule and basic stuff like that. They don't type anything up. I do just about anything on the computer I do for the most part. So I transfer all their paper notes into the tech story and all that.
Okay.
How
Yeah,
about
because
you,
that's what
Sal?
I'm having trouble with. Oh, sorry.
Alrighty, Emmy, question is, are your guys doing DVI?
Sorry.
Are your guys doing digital inspections?
No. We have the tablet and they can go and take pictures and we upload them into the system, but we don't have it set up as the actual, because we are in Canada, I don't know if the same, you know what I mean, if the inspection items are the exact same. So we have different ones, like we have CVIP inspections, we have out of province inspections, we have just regular B services and stuff. So they're all a little bit different.
Got it.
We do have them using like paper clipboard and stuff, but we're just
Okay.
having a hard time.
How many techs do you have?
I see my fellow people are on there, Rift Valley. How many do we have right now? 4?
4 techs, and how many tablets in the shop?
There's one primary tablet, there's one computer,
Got it.
but all of them have the, capacity
Okay.
to work on a clipboard. and
Okay,
stuff.
because as far as the inspections, you can create different inspections. It's not just one inspection. You can create different ones for each different one that you need. So and name them accordingly, and then that way you have that. So instead of having 4 paper inspections, you have 4 different digital inspections based on what your needs are. You create them yourself. Now, with my guys, each technician has their own iPad. Each technician has a Chromebook because everything's cloud-based. So that way they can be at the car. So the iPad for taking pictures, real quick on inspections, Chromebook for typing, anything else on the RO. And I tell them, it's like, okay, when you're done with a particular job, a particular line on the RO and everything, the technician marks it complete. Well, the thing is, don't mark it complete until your story's there also, because see, the service writer doesn't know you're done with it until it's marked complete.
Exactly. And
So-
that's
so this-
where it comes in for frustration.
Correct. But I mean, right now I was about to buy another iPad here, just to have a spare, because I've got currently 2 techs. Each of them has an iPad and a Chromebook. Right now you can get an iPad for under $300 plus the case and everything. And I run Chromebooks because they're basically all you need. It's all cloud-based, and I get those for about $250 to $280 brand new. Lenovo, HP, and they do everything. They're touch screen, so they can actually, zoom out and so on, wiring diagrams, everything. They have it at the car. You don't have guys having to go to where the computer is, or 2 guys need to, okay, one guy's waiting for the guy to finish the computer. They each have their own.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really good. Thank you.
Emmy, when you do a training session with Victor, he can walk you through the inspections. He's probably set up more than I have, I imagine. He does it with a lot of shops. He does a lot of training every week.
Todd, what'd you have?
So yeah, definitely switch to digital inspections. It really, 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 really helps. And but as far and you can create your own custom ones. There's no, there's nothing that's going to separate the US and Canada that way. You just create it for what you need.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the big question about how to get the text to write stuff down, it is the carrot and the stick. And if you're to the stick, you just got to use the stick. And you just, I mean, it's just repeat, rinse, lather, repeat. We have regular shop meetings here every other week where we talk about things like that, and we talk about how important it is for the customer experience to get that information, for how important it is for us to retain that information. So we have to look it up in the future. If say we have a warranty issue next year on a car we fixed this year, or something that we need to look up, we need to be able to look back quickly and know that we have the information there. Why do we do this job? What exactly do we do? What did the technician find? So they need to buy in and understand how important it is to the business that they do this. And then also you can say, hey, if the service advisor has to keep coming out to you and keep asking you questions, how much time does that waste? Get the story done, have it complete, make it so the service advisor can understand it, and they don't have to come back and ask for clarifications on anything. That way the ticket moves through the process faster. The advisor has all the information they need to make the sale. And then there's a lot of tips and tricks on how to try to get this across. But you tell them, okay, this one sentence that's worth about $150. You want me to make a $600 sale? I need like a paragraph.
Yeah.
The bigger the story, the bigger the sale.
Thank you.
Probably the only thing I have to follow up with all that is we have a rule at my shop that if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. Period. And that goes both ways. If I tell my guy, hey, that's my neighbors, and I want you to do this because of this, and I say it verbally and they don't do it, it's on me. Like if I don't put it in writing, it did not happen. Door swings both ways. If they don't put it in writing to me, it didn't happen. If I don't put it in writing to them, it didn't happen. So,
I like that.
Yeah, I'm about to implement also to where all communication in writing to where even if the little things real quick, it's like, okay, I need this, I need that. Don't go over and tell them. There's a chat box in ShopBoss. Use that. So again, it's all documented. So someone says, well, you didn't tell me that. Look, it's right here. This is how the message was delivered. I something I learned from real estate. It's like, okay, if it's not in writing, it wasn't said. It wasn't there. Yep.
That's it. And with all the texting, digital stuff and all that, and this will be the last thing I say, we're going to move on. A lot of people say, well, I don't want all this goofy digital stuff and text, and I just want a regular old phone call. Well, don't forget, if you think about it, text actually kind of predates phone calls. You listen to old timers or grandparents, they'll tell you, write a letter, because then it's in writing. A text is a letter, people. It's time stamped. It predates the phone call. It's new, it's digital, it's latest, greatest, but it's still a letter. And that's what the old timers will tell you.
One thing I really, really wish and that I'm looking forward to in the future with updates on ShopBoss is to get the chat feature a little bit better. Like I need it to pop up on their screen so that they can peek over at their computer and they see something on their screen, like right there in the middle saying, it just brings up like the chat box or something like that. Because I do feel like that is the easiest way to communicate with them, because a tech might be working on a car or something like that, or he might be in the middle of writing something down on his inspection sheet and I don't want to go bother him. But once he's able to look over at his computer screen, he'll see that, hey, I need something from you. But
again, if one of them's got a phone, then and you handed it to them, they don't have an excuse anymore either.
Yeah, the chat in ShopBoss is pretty good, but we use Slack.
Slack.
And it works really, really, really well, because you can create channels for the office and for I can create a tech channel where I can just send a message out to the techs by themselves. And so I want them to, or I can talk to the office without talking to everybody. And you can, so it works. If there was, if we continue to improve the chat feature in ShopBoss to be something like that, where you can create groups too, it would be even more awesome. But we use Slack now for all that kind of stuff.
All right. So the next question coming up, let's everybody take a deep breath and focus on not letting this train run away from us, because I'm going to say it out loud. What are we doing to find techs? Now, we don't want this to become an hour-long session on this, so let's all make an effort to
praying, smoke signals.
So I'll start. I'm gonna run off here, fellas and ladies. I have a $500 finder's fee if anybody sends me somebody that works out for 90 days. I have a $3,000 sign-on bonus as a tool shopping spree for technicians after they work here 90 days. They have half health insurance paid for at the 90-day mark. They have 40 hours of vacation time at the 90-day mark, with an additional 40 hours when they hit a year, along with short-term, long-term disability and life insurance that I pay for 100%. That's my 30-second elevator speech of how I get texts. Anybody else care to share?
Well, there's still, there's a lot of discussion about this, and we could make this at a whole Zoom meeting all on its own. But there's been a lot of great advice on it, and one of the things is your best recruiters are your current employees. So you provide a great working environment. They talk to other techs. I mean, techs talk to one another in the area. The thing starts with your business. Look at it from the outside and say, hey, if I was a tech, why would I want to work here? What sets it apart from the other shops in my area? Why would I work for me? So that's kind of the big 10,000 foot view. But I am on a apprenticeship committee. So here in Washington, my Northwest Auto Care Alliance created a apprenticeship program that got certified by the state. And so we have a Washington State certified independent automotive apprenticeship program. And so I'm on that committee. I regularly visit schools. I was at a career fair last Friday. I'm going to be at one next Monday. I was at my local high school this past Tuesday. I'm going to go again next Friday. And being on advisory boards for your local schools that have automotive programs and supporting them there. If you need young techs, get on the advisory boards in your local schools, because if you are involved with them, when you call them up and say, hey, I need your best, I'm looking for a student, I need your best, you're going to be the one, because you're helping them with their program. So you can be directly involved in it. And for me, that's the best thing that you can do, because we need to get in front of the young people's eyes here. Just like we said earlier, it's hard to untrain some experienced guys that have bad habits. You need to train early. And so the way to get them is right out of school. Get the brightest and best by being involved in your local schools. That was longer than it should have been.
Sure. But
I've been watching
information. Who else has got something?
So I was actually having a question on that. So I'm in Washington as well. What's the best way to get into that program with them?
Talk to them. Go up, call them.
I can send you a link. I can send you a link in the chat here to the auto care. Where are you at?
Maple Valley.
Okay, I know. Is that Brian at Valley Auto Electric?
Yeah.
Okay, I will. If you contact Emily there, or I will send you a link in the chat here.
Okay.
Awesome. Something else that I've used is Better Team, which is a recruiting website. It actually broadcasts to all of the other recruiting. You can throw a rock on Google and find Better Team. It's and it's less expensive than the recruiting, because they kind of refine it down.
What have we tried that didn't work? I mean, how
Also
were you doing it? And
so I can answer that. Tool trucks don't work anymore. Used to be you could talk to your tool truck guy, he'd find you a tech, especially if you're spending a bunch of money with them like I do. Nowadays they don't. The reason is everybody's starving for techs. And if I, as a shop owner, hear when that my tool guy told one of my techs he should go work somewhere else, he's never coming on my lot again. And that's why the tool trucks don't work anymore.
Okay.
They just don't even bother.
Yeah, our local transmission shop does radio adverts asking for technicians. I mean, I've heard it when I'm in the car. I don't know how successful they are, but they run them quite a lot. So
all right.
Because what I've noticed in the past with techs is difficult is you have some that are really good, but they've got issues. They drama somewhere and so on. I had one here that was really good, but something got a wild hair up his butt and he quit. And literally within an hour, his box was gone, everything like if he never existed. You have some that there's no drama, but they're just not that good. The ones that are good and no drama are usually at somewhere and they're doing whatever they can to keep them. Sometimes the shop is not even that good, but the technician just doesn't leave because sometimes the devil you know is better than devil you don't know. There's a lot of good techs that are in shops they shouldn't be in, should be somewhere else that's a lot better for them, so on, and they just don't move. They've been there way too long, they just don't move.
Anybody on here got a technician making $100,000 a year?
Two. Yeah,
Anybody got a technician making $150,000 a year?
not yet, but soon.
I interviewed one a month ago. He showed me his paycheck stub last year that didn't include December at $174,000.
What was that area?
That's here in Louisville, Kentucky, at a Volvo dealership. I asked him, "Are you looking for a 40-hour work week?" He said, "No, I'd work more if they'd let me." I said, "How much are you working now?" He said, "I get there about 4:30 in the morning. I stay till 6 and I work every Saturday they let me." I shook his hand and said, "Dude, you should go start your own shop. Nobody's going to hire you."
How old was he?
54.
What?
Wow.
Still doing that at 54, huh?
Exactly. And he didn't do engine work or dash work because of his back.
That's awesome.
So, but it's not the technician I want. Anybody else want him in here? I don't want him.
Dedicated.
How do you feed him?
Exactly. I mean, he built 4,000 hours last year on his own. We only build 5,000 as a whole shop, you know? So,
Joel, you're in Florida. What are you doing to look for techs? Because I know you said you're not a technician. So I was just wondering what you're doing to look for technicians.
Well, I've tried to rely on the techs themselves. We haven't been really good at that. We try Indeed, but I'm a bit conservative in how we pay. The thing is, we pay weekly, and so personally, if I'm taking you, I want to be. To me is a commitment that you will have, for however long you decide to be here. So I don't really want to commit up to a certain amount when I know that, okay, that may be a little too much, but we have a serious shortage. The ones that we've had, again, just some habits, quote unquote, but we lost a couple, like I said earlier, but that was because of pay. So they're going to where they're offering benefits and things of that sort, which we aren't able to offer yet. Because I actually tried 2 years ago to offer insurance, and they refused. So, because it wasn't, I suppose, a great coverage wasn't good. So that's really the challenge. And if you take someone who doesn't know, the ones that are here have to be willing to train them. And that takes away time from them because then, they can't make as much money or things like that. So it's a serious challenge, at least for us.
It might be worth trying the better teams that Woody mentioned because it was free, I think, for the first 2 weeks. And
which one is that?
So it's Better Team.
Yeah.
And there is a 7-day free trial. And I did just hire a technician over the 7-day trial. And there's a monthly subscription that's as little as $50 a month where you can just continue. Something we talked about in my 20 group is the frequency and the practice. There's times at this point that I get somebody walk through my door, or I hear about somebody, or they call me or text me or something, and I know they're not a fit for my shop, but I'm still going to go through the entire process of interviewing them. And why in the world would I do that? So that I have the practice and the frequency, because I need to get better at interviewing and hiring. And there's no better way to do that than to just simply go through the motions. and it feels weird. Sometimes it feels like I'm wasting people's time. Other times at the end of the interview, I'm like, hey, I know where you should go to work. He's my pal. He's over on Westport Road. Go talk to him. Like he's a fit. You're a fit for him. You're not a fit for me. So, and again, it's all just kind of about the greater good, I think sometimes, because we all know each other in the area. Todd just mentioned some auto electric guy up in, Caleb there, he knows who he's talking about. We all know each other. It's a close niche industry.
It's a small industry, man. I mean, I see people around that I've known for 30 plus years,
Yeah, next thing I was going to bring up is who knows their numbers in here? Like if I ask Todd, what's your hours per ticket right now as an average? There you go. Who else knows that number? Which that's Rockstar, by the way.
What state are you in, Todd? Washington.
Yep. Yeah, Washington. We're in Seattle.
And how about you?
You're well above the average for the state. We correlated 1,000 shops across the country.
And how about your average repair order? Anybody know that right off the top of their head? Nice. Yep.
We're currently at a
nice.
Yeah, you're over $320 above the average for your state sale.
Yeah, this year we're up 150,000 from last year, and we're averaging 2 cars less a day. So we're working on it.
Funny how
so you're selling more hours per car.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jason, I would hug you if you were nearby because somebody said to me the other day, "Well, that won't make any difference to my business." It's like, what?
Hey, that's 2 less estimates we're writing a day. That's 2 less test drives. That's just less stress on the techs. Everybody.
And it's more time that the advisors can spend with the clients to make sure that the clients feel that they're getting a better experience, and they have the time to make sure that all their questions are answered.
So something we do with my 20 group is we have an Excel spreadsheet that actually one of the members put together, and we take our key performance indicators, which is our parts sales, our supplies, our parts cost, our number of techs, our number of bays, our labor rate, our car count, et cetera, and we all put it in an Excel spreadsheet and we share it on our Facebook page, and then we comment on each other and we say, hey, your parts margin really took a hit last month. What happened? And then that holds each other accountable. Is anybody in here? Again, the group is young. The group is today. Is that something that anybody would be willing to do in order to share and grow? Because I don't think any of us are any kind of competition to one another.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd be willing to submit my numbers, but I am not one to put together a spreadsheet because I have no clue how to put them together.
I got the spreadsheet to send you, and all you got to do is dump it in there. Paul, do you have mine set up somewhere to share, or do you want me to share my screen?
You can share your screen, and then you.
All right. So.
I was going to say Paul loves spreadsheets.
Yeah.
So can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a bunch of junk all over the screen like mine? Okay, let's see here.
Now, in the recording that I share, I'm going to edit this part out because it's not fair that the whole world sees it.
Well, again, it is what it is, and I'm here to give. And so this is what we do. This is my year to date. I don't know if everybody can read these numbers, but that first column is parts sales. Second column is my supplies. Third column is parts cost. The numbers that we think we've collectively grown to know is this hours per ticket, which I'm at 2.4. Todd, you are a rock star if you're not working on like Euros or big trucks.
Yeah. We are Euro.
Okay, well, Euro is always a little bigger. Medium duty trucks, Euros, all that stuff's a little bigger. But anything over 3 is, man, that's where you really get into that category of making some serious money, because the parts follow the labor. If you're selling the labor, like pretty much everybody here is probably 50% parts, 50% labor, right? I mean, it just happens like that. So if you're selling $10,000 worth of labor, you can bet you're going to sell $10,000 worth of parts. So if you're, and the parts just happen anyway. So if you're focusing on that hours per ticket, that's where
Cut
the
this off.
bigger real
Am I
comes
gonna
in.
damage?
So yeah, so this is something I've got access to that I could share with people. I pull these numbers out actually my portal from ATI, but I can get all these numbers off my Shop Boss report as well. So, and you can see I've got some benchmarks set. I've got some stuff in the red, yellow, green. And I can kind of scour over this and see that I'm up in sales for last month than I was. I'm up, my hours per ticket are continuously getting up. We had a really rough January actually for whatever reason, and we normally don't. You know, I can track my parts margin, but actually my parts margin, it stays pretty good all the time. It's down a little bit for last month, although our sales were up, and we had some big engines, transmissions, a couple aftermarket warranty jobs that we couldn't quite get the full amount out of. But yeah, this is it, fellas and ladies.
Okay.
It's an idea.
Because I've got a spreadsheet that was given to me by someone else that I kind of work with also. A little bit different numbers, a different way of looking at it. Mind if I share mine to see?
Oh, no
you guys
problem.
can see what I have.
Please do.
Yeah.
And we might come up with something different than this that hits home more for us Shop Boss users than this. This is, I'm just throwing it out there.
I think what would be great because if you could export the report from Shop Boss, because it'll export into an Excel sheet. If we could create something that all of us Shop Boss users could just export into, that would
May know somebody who can get reports made for you, actually, Todd.
Maybe.
All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So that way you can see here, it's like, okay, what is your labor rate at the moment, hours, days, and everything. You fill this in once a week, and it shows, of course, new customers, your GPs and everything here. At certain markers, they go green. So this was last month for us. And then you can go over here, pulling from those numbers. Okay, you punch in last year's. This is where you are at this much. It pulls the numbers automatically. Okay, where do you want to be compared to and what you were last year? What your growth you want to be? It'll tell you, okay, where initially, right now, because I was a little lower the few months, where I have to be every month, every week to still hit that goal for the end of the year.
There you go.
So there you go. That's what I kind of work with for now. This is actually given to me by my previous coach. I changed coach here last year. I'm now with Transformers and with the mastermind group in Transformers. But my previous coach gave me this one, and I just kind of still keep using it to work with a little bit. So, like, as long as it's all in the green, we're looking good. And then, like up here, you know, right now, productivity, I'm just shooting for 75%, get them kind of there. Eventually, the target's going to be at 100%. We're still kind of working on that to get them a little bit better.
I struggle with that myself, Sal.
Yeah. I mean, I've got sometimes one tech that can do good. I've got, you know, he's done 110% in one pay period. The next pay period about 80 or 90. And so it's like, okay, peaks and valleys there. But I think it's one of those where I need to get an additional tech in, because what happens is we get really swamped because we do inspections and all of a sudden everything gets sold. Now we've got more work than we expected. Okay, so we had to get that out. It's like, okay, so we lighten up a little bit the next couple of days to get that cleared out. All of a sudden it gets too light, and then the next week we're partially standing around. Sometimes by 3 o'clock we're done for the day, because let's say the work that we did bring in, the customers didn't buy the work and so on. So if I can have one more guy in, then it's like those peaks and valleys can kind of smooth out. Okay, we get really swamped. One guy stay on that, the other guy can still get the other things done, so we can still keep, we don't back off on the cars.
Now, I think this is an elaborate, wonderful spreadsheet that's got a lot of moving parts to it.
What?
I think mine's pretty basic, but I like Todd's suggestion best. Let's find something we can click a button out of our Shop Boss report that automatically feeds in, because I like easy. Because again, we're looking to put it out there to expose, and then ultimately, like, hey, I noticed that you're really good at this. What are you doing to get there with those hours per ticket? I'd like to know that. Or, hey, I used to be there with this number, and this is what I did to make that change. Because if we're all given the information and receiving the information, then as a whole, we can grow the right direction.
I mean, I like the PPH system because it's simple and so am I. So it just shows you whether you're above or below your target. If you've hit your net variance, the amount of hours you're meant to have sold to hit your profit target. I do love my Excel spreadsheets though.
I like them as long as somebody else sets them up and I'm just kind of looking.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what is anybody else using currently? Are you just bits of paper or do you have your own dashboard set up? Anybody else?
Well, we use Kukui here, and so it's very, very robust in their reporting system. So that along with the reports that I use in ShopBoss, it gives me, pretty much all I need. I don't create those spreadsheets either. I'm a troglodyte. I use paper and pen for a lot of that stuff, but
the Kukui system is really nice. It always has been.
Yeah, and then with my office, my sales staff, we have a monthly meeting with the sales staff to go over the previous month's numbers, ARO, hours per, all that stuff, and see, and just so we know what to focus on for this month.
Anybody else like to share what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I can share mine. I use my shop coaches. Give me 1 second here. You guys see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. So this is from my shop coach, Vic Transic, I see his last name, the shop owner. We kind of go over this about twice a month. We'll get together, and it's kind of spread out. It's a lot of details. You could really get in and edit some things, but it's nice at a glance. You could kind of go month by month, year to year, that kind of stuff. It's not as detailed as some of the other reports I just saw. You could get there. It's just you got to really dig into it to get there. It gets into a lot of KPIs. You can really dig into it. Like I say, it depends on how you want to filter it, on how that works. Like, for instance, we give a bonus on tech average repair order. So I could pull that report up real quick, kind of edit my dates, and I could edit that. Because I got one tech that does a lot of heavy work, and I got another guy that does a lot of diagnostic work. So the guy that does a lot of heavy work, it's hard for him to be very productive and get a lot of hours. So he feels like he's left out of the game a lot. So I implemented the average ARO to kind of help him out, and it's almost a gimme bonus, but I did that and I got some serious response out of it. Like it really almost sparked a whole nother guy. So that was kind of a cool thing.
You found his emotional hotspot that made him happy is what you did.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about money. It's not always about time off. It's not always about, sometimes it's just about recognition.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was kind of cool. We actually ran up a report yesterday on his hours, actually. I think this is the one. Nope, sold hours. I'm sorry. Total sold hours. Let me delete a couple guys. But he's been trying his best to quit smoking. And we were talking a little bit about the effects that smoking has. And right here's when he actually quit smoking last year. Then over the wintertime, dark, he got kind of, it's kind of a sucky time of the year. He started smoking. You can see how his hours dropped dramatically. Quit smoking again. And you can see it, it's those smoke breaks that catch up with you that you don't realize. I mean, that's a lot of hour differences there.
That speaks volumes, man.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually going to present this report to him and be like, dude, look how effective this is on your life, really, and on my paycheck, but not really using that as an option, but
well, his paycheck too, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. He gets commission bonuses. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of cool to open that report up and actually watch. Obviously, that goes with business as well, and the type of work comes in the door. But you can see how just somebody's attitude, and I could pick out each one of these months and tell you his attitude for that month, and how much it affected his hours, and that's kind of a good way of knowing where their mental state is too.
Have you found that the income jumped when you started working on your business more rather than in it? So when you started turning wrenches so much?
Yeah, absolutely. How do I want to present that? You know, I do a lot of the tough stuff, right? I mean, that's kind of how I think all of us, anything real hard diagnostics, kind of what I do. But I told my service writer, I said, you know, we need to wipe myself completely off the schedule. You know, I need to be walking through the shop and directing these guys whenever, you know, don't put a job on me, put that on one of these guys and I'll work with them, because there's no way I'm going to get out of the shop if I don't teach them the skills they need to do their every day. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've spoken to people who are scared. They're like, well, if I stop turning a wrench, my income will disappear. So, well, you know, you've got technicians and you're trying to build your business. So
I think most of us owners as well, most of us, especially the ones that struggle like I do, I'm not going to go out there and do the easy stuff. Just like Jason said, I'm going to go out there and work on the hardest car out there, because I'm looking at it like, well, I'll get this knocked out and maybe we won't bill as many hours, but at least we'll get the car out of our way. And the rest of the guys can just focus on this good, profitable stuff, which is a good thought. Meanwhile, as the owner, you can get out there and spend 5 hours on something, even though you only build 1 hour, and nobody can tell you not to. If you tell the technician not to do that, he won't do it. And if you tell the service advisor he's got to call that customer back because this is a really hard car to diagnose, even if it's a long-term customer, and even if it's my neighbor, and even if whatever that situation is, we got to get more time. We got to make sure we're getting this right. That's when it happens. Versus we can just do anything we want, which is good most days.
The worst thing I've found is, you know, as an owner technician, we devalue our time horribly. And, you know, we get a car out there that's kicking our butt. Instead of keeping a tech on it, we're like, oh, we'll do it because I'm not paying myself. But
take it personal,
in reality, you know, we should be billing for that time instead of coming in on Saturday or Sunday and working on it. So it's just get it off the lot. And I'm slowly starting to realize that. And we're starting to learn to sell our diagnostic time better. That's our number one that we're working on right now is, you know, especially if it's a job that comes from another shop, it's a minimum of 3 hours now. It's where before we always had our basic, you know, 1 hour, let's see what we got, then we'll go from there. But, you know, we know what we got. If it comes from another shop, we got a problem. We got the original problem plus whatever problem they created. So we're working on that. That's a big one. So
and you know it's not going to be a part that fixes it.
Yeah,
because they already tried all the parts. Not you're going to find the chafed wire.
Yeah, we're finding that little sliver of copper sticking out of that insulation somewhere. So
I always say the most difficult problems to find are the ones that are created by someone, not something that happened in the car naturally. And at the same time, I'm trying to tell my service writer, do not depend on me actually working on the cars. And then he still books. I was like, oh, I need you to get this done. It's like, look, do not depend on that, because see, a job that should be a 1 hour job takes me half a day to sometimes the whole day, because while I'm on the job, I get pulled away for this, get pulled away for that. And it's like, okay, I get pulled away for 10 minutes and I actually lost 40 by the time I figure out where I was and everything else. So I'm always telling like, look, do not depend on me. And then all of a sudden, we're backed up. It's like, oh, are you going to get out there and work on cars? It's like, I almost want to tell them, no. Any other stupid questions?
I heard an awesome term yesterday from a realtor of all people that I was having a little meet with. And she was talking about how she gets wrapped into these people that are impossible to sell their house or impossible to find them a house. And she doesn't know why she keeps dealing with them. And then somebody said this term to her, and I think we should all hear it. You attract what you allow.
Yep.
And we should stop doing that. Paul, take us out of this meeting. Let's hear it, man.
Okay. We've only gone 20 minutes over. We're doing well. So
that's not bad.
I've already got next month's meeting lined up. So next month, we've got it lined up June the 8th, same time. It's a Thursday. And I've got a guest, Jim Anderson. He runs a company called Anderson's Automotive in Marion, Iowa. But what interests me about Jim, what made me ask him to come along is he does a 4-day work week. He's only open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've spoken to him. I'm like, I hadn't heard of it over here. It's quite common in the print industry in England, which I used to work in many, many years ago. But he loves it and his staff love it. So I wanted to get him on to talk about the whole idea of the 4-day work week. And
that's how you hire mechanics.
He said his staff won't leave. He's also been in the industry 30, since 1989. He is a huge advocate of the DVI, as everybody else here seems to be, and about selling hours. And he's into car racing in his downtime. But I thought he'd be an interesting guest. I'm going to get Woody to join me as well as a co-host, as it were. I hope you found this useful. If it's been a bit choppy, I apologize. It's been my first one. If you're not in the Facebook group, please come and join it. We do share information in there. Me or one of my team is almost in there all the time, so we try and get to things quickly. But if there is anything you want, my email address is paul.forsey, FORCEY, @shopboss.net. I did put it in the chat. We are doing checkup phone calls on everybody, so the chances are you'll probably speak to Victor or Kyle at some point in the near future anyway. But we offer one-on-one training for you or for your staff. If you've got a new service writer and you want some help, that's fine. Just let us know. We'll get you on the calendar. We really do want to be partners with everybody. I understand that we're a software company and your customers, but we really want to work with people and be partners. So I love the idea of this report. We'll work on that and get with that.
Appreciate everybody's
All
time.
right, guys, I really appreciate everybody coming along. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Contact us if you need us.
See everybody next month.
Bye. Thank you.